Is there anyone who is infected?
सब हुआ था अब तो ठीक हो गया.
Okay, एक दो जन लग रहा है. Okay. Anyway, I hope you are okay now. So yeah, I can see a few. Okay, so we have been discussing about water pollution in the last class. If you remember, we completed water pollution. We'll still share that PPT with you people. So this was water pollution, and we discussed about various kinds of treatment in the last class. Okay, so today I will start with the last part of your syllabus, that is social issues and the environment. This is unit 3. Okay, there is one small part of unit 2 which is yet to be discussed, which is noise pollution. That I will discuss in your tutorial class, because you have a tutorial on noise pollution. I will discuss that. That is tomorrow. So tomorrow you will get to know about noise pollution. Okay, so I will be very brief today because I am also not feeling very well. I will be with you for around half an hour. Then you can leave the exit the meeting. Okay, then let's begin. Uh, Social issues and the environment. So how environmental issue becomes a and becomes a social issue. So let's look into it. So this is your content. We will get to know about what are various kinds of issues, what are the possible solutions, urban problems related to energy. When you live in an urban area, what are the problems which are unique to uh, the people who stay in urban area? We will look into that. We will also look into water conservation. Why is it necessary? How can we do that, etc. Rainwater harvesting. So it's a part of water conservation, I can say. I will rather put it underwater conservation. We will look into Sardar Sarovar Dam. And finally, Environment Protection Acts. So Environment Protection Acts are basically various kinds of laws enacted by the government. We will look into that. Okay. So here, let us first start with urban problems related to environmental protection. Okay. So as a consequence of urbanization and civilization, uh, the issues related to environment are enlisted as below. Energy problem, lack of energy, power cut, frequent power cut, or rise in your electricity bill. Okay, this kind of things. Pollution of air, water, and soil. Then impact of urban areas, how urban landscape changes because of pollution. Nuclear energy, we will look into that also. Radioactive pollution. Well, this is not something which occurs frequently, but if you specifically concentrate on some of the cities, I cannot name one city which uh, suffered because of radioactive pollution, and the incident was accidental. It was not a deliberate accident. So can you name? It was not a man-made radioactive. The cause was not man-made. Radioactive pollution. Anyone? Okay, so it's an open question to you people. Which city uh, had to take emergency precaution because of radioactive pollution? Okay,
So are you talking about Chernobyl?
Chernobyl cannot be exactly said not man-made. They built that industry and they made mistakes. So there was radioactive leakage, right? But you can include Chernobyl because it was not intentional, but it was because of human mistakes. But one of the incident is a natural disaster. I mean, the reason is a natural disaster.
So the radioactive fallout in Japan.
Yeah. Can you name the city?
So Fukushima.
Hiroshima.
Uh, which Shima?
So Fukushima.
Right, right. Fukushima. So as far as I remember, it was an earthquake, right? And because of the earthquake, the nuclear power plant suffered damages. And so there was radioactive emission from the power plant, right? So radioactive pollution, we will try to highlight that also. Industrial and chemical pollution. Uh, there is a film actually, a Hollywood film. Uh, Let me just check. I will name it to you. Yeah, so the film is named as Dark Waters. Okay, let me share it with you. Share content. Yeah, this is the name of the film, Dark Waters. So, can you guess uh, the actor? It's Mike Ruffalo, Hulk. So it's a very nice film actually. You can watch it. So a township was completely uh, polluted. The water of the township was polluted, and the industry was covering it up. So how did he reveal all these things? So it was very difficult for a lawyer to understand all the chemistry behind it. But we people here in India, we are much less educated compared to them, and still they found it really hard to uh, convince the judges that the industry was polluting the nearby land. So it's a very I can't say nice story, but it was very nicely put. Uh, the story is obviously grim, but it was very nicely put. You can look into if you have the time. Okay then, back to our slides then. So industrial and chemical pollution, how it affects. Uh, Studying about how it affects, what are the causes. This is one thing, but what is actually going on around the world? If you wish to know about it, so I told you about that film, Dark Waters. You can watch it. So you'll get to know how people deal with it, what are various consequences, and how really should you fight if you see such kind of things in your localities. So need for public and societal awareness towards environmental protection. So about that also you'll get to know a bit about from that film. Okay, because these kind of cases should be a public interest litigation. I don't know if you are aware with this stuff, PIL, public interest litigation. So it's it's a case where the public uh, files the case against the government or maybe an industry or maybe a company. Okay, so it affects everyone. It's not a fight against an individual, or it is not a fight of an individual against a company. It's the fight of the whole city, maybe the whole township. Okay. So unplanned development, overpopulation, and pollution are the potent ecological factors impinging upon man by affecting the quality of environment. So this is one thing. It's constantly increasing pressure on the environment and the natural resources. Careless management of natural resources is disrupting the whole ecological process so much that Earth's life supporting capacity is being sustainably threatened. So these are the points which people should understand. That is why this social awareness is important. Unplanned development, how it affects the environment, overpopulation and pollution, how it really affects the environment. This is something people should know about. They should understand how it increases the pressure on environment and natural resources. So changes do not come in a day or two. It should get ingrained in your day-to-day life, right? Say for example, when we really realized that wearing face mask is mandatory to save ourselves and our family from infection. I won't say 100% of the citizen of India started following it, but many people started following it. So when you realize how dangerous it is, if you do not change your lifestyle, you will change yourself. So making people realize is important. We have given a lot of effort to make people understand that if you really wish to survive this pandemic, you have to change your lifestyle. Similarly, climate change is something which is also a pandemic. It's affecting us slowly, and so we are not able to realize its effect. So if we can make people understand the gravity of the situation, people will still change their lifestyle. Not everyone, but a major chunk of people will obviously try to change themselves. So that's what is being focused on here. Development to be environmental compatible demands that it should be in line with environmental protection and conservation. Any kind of development should take that into consideration. So pollution is a burning issue of the day at global level, and the combined effect to control pollution has to be made by all government agencies, technologists, industrialists, agriculturalists, and last but not the least, the common man. So every person has a duty towards making uh, our environment pollution free. So these are the areas where urgent awareness need to be created. Control of environmental pollution, natural resources conservation, land management, development of non-polluting sources of energy like solar energy, environmental education, environmental laws. These are the things we should focus on. This looks like a video. Let me check. It's really a video. Nope. What about this? It is not either. Okay. Let's talk about rainwater harvesting. So water is one of the basic human requirements. Even if you live near a seashore, if you are not having constant supply of fresh water, it will be difficult for you to survive, right? I should say impossible for you to survive because you cannot drink or use saline water of the sea. You will require fresh water. So you have also seen that civilizations have really concentrated their livelihood into those areas where availability of water is easy. So uh, it's a very big factor uh, when it comes to the distribution of population of an area. So if you just look into Google Map and focus on any city, okay, or maybe a village, and if you try to look into the uh, satellite image of the river, you will see that uh, all the houses are located very close to the river. Whereas if you keep going further away from the river, the density of houses that you can see in the satellite will start to decrease. Okay, so this is also a very nice, a proof that water becomes a major factor when people decides where they wish to stay. Are you able to follow what I'm saying? Okay. Next, then. So, what is the need because of such short duration of heavy rain? Why is water conservation, rainwater harvesting so important? Because of short duration of heavy rain, most of the rain falling on the surface tends to flow away. You cannot store it if you do not plan on storing it. It will simply flow away. It will go to the ocean, river, etc. Okay. So finally, it's of no use to you. What you can do instead is create some lakes, wells. Okay. This is where the rainwater gets stored. Okay. If you do not have this lake, the water will flow down to the river or ocean. But if you have a lake, the water will get stored over here. It will not percolate down and reach the ocean. So this is how you can store water. Even if the bed of the lake is soil, it is pervious, you will still have water. But if you do not have this lake dug, or if you do not have such lakes, it will simply flow down into the low-lying areas from where you cannot access water. Okay, you stay here, it's not possible for you to go here and collect water. This could be kilometers and kilometers away. So build lakes if you do not have the natural lakes. You will see many reports uh, in India where people have collectively given their effort and they have converted uh, old and dying rivers and lakes into a freshwater source by their collective effort. This is something people can do. Okay. So rainwater harvesting is one of the best options. So how do you harvest rainwater? You build lakes or you clean the existing lakes. This is how you can harvest water on a large scale level. But in an urban area, you will require various containers. You need to collect water which falls onto your roof and it will come down to your containers. This is how you can store the rainwater. But that storage is a small scale storage. Large scale storage is only possible if you have such natural lakes. Okay. Or if you can build lakes, then only you can store water. Okay, then. So rainwater harvesting means capturing and collecting the rain water and allowing it to percolate in the ground instead of flowing as a runoff or storing water from rainfall in an area for beneficial use. So you have to capture and collect the rainwater. That is the purpose. Instead of letting it run off into the ground or letting it run off into the nearby uh, nearby rivers. Okay, you should not let it go away from you. That's the main purpose. So how can you store it? One option is tank. Reservoirs. Reservoirs are those structures which uh, stores water in the river. Okay. See, this is a river. Tanks could be small man-made ponds. You can call it a tank also. Okay. Small man-made ponds can be called as tanks. Underground storage, it could be recharge basin. See, you can store water underground and you can use wells to collect the water later on. Okay. This is a schematic for rainwater harvesting system. How can you do it? This is a modern system that you can adopt in urban areas. So when it rains, you will use pipes to collect the water of the roof. This will be the first device on which water will get collected. There will be a leaf screen so that no leaves can get inside. Cistern storage, here you will store the water, and later on when you need the water, you will use this check bulb and pressure pump to pump the water into your required taps. And while you are passing it, you can put filters and ultraviolet scanning so that your water gets disinfected. And finally, you can use it for drinking and other cooking purpose. Okay. Types of rainwater harvesting structures. There are multiple types. Roof rainwater harvesting, land-based rainwater harvesting, watershed-based rainwater harvesting. Okay. Based on placed where you are placing it. So based on where you are placing the rainwater harvesting structure, roof and land-based, it could be a combination of this: private, public, office, and industrial buildings. Public or private office and industrial buildings. Pavements, lawns, gardens, and other open spaces. From there also you can collect water. So this is another way of classifying your rainwater harvesting structure. Okay. So basically from where you are collecting, that will determine your rainwater harvesting structure's name. Okay, based on from where you are collecting. Okay, so let's talk about rooftop rainwater harvesting system first of all. Rooftop is not needed. Roof rainwater harvesting system should suffice. Just go through the slide by yourself once. I will explain it to you. Okay. So roof rainwater harvesting system. The rainwater falling on the building roof and other land area is collected and conveyed to the lowest point in the land area. So from all those surfaces which are at a higher elevation compared to the uh, surrounding land, from those locations you will be collecting water, and you will convey them or pass them into a point which is lowest in the land area. Okay. If natural terrain is not available, slope has to be provided. Then this water is collected in a siphon pit and then discharged into the recharge well. So all the rainwater is collected and it will finally be placed in a siphon pit or percolation pit where groundwater will get recharged. Okay, groundwater will get recharged. So you can store it here. You see, you cannot build a tank large enough in your urban area. Okay, you cannot build a tank large enough in your urban area to collect the water. What you can do is you can drop it in a pit underground where water will get soaked inside. And later on, when you will require, you can collect this water. So that's the main principle here. It's called a recharge well. You keep recharging. The recharge well consists of a shallow well followed by a deep borehole. Okay, you see. So it is a shallow well, and below it you have a borehole filled with filter media of various grades of gravel and sand. So this is not soil actually. It contains various kinds of gravels for filtration purpose. The rainwater collected undergoes the filtering action of purification and is allowed to percolate in the soil in the vicinity, thus maintaining water table in that area. So if a person individually does that, it won't work. The whole locality should be doing it. And so during winter, you will be able to collect water easily because your groundwater is recharged. The whole area has been working on recharging the groundwater. Okay. Any question from this part? Okay. So this is a schematic diagram for that thing that I've explained to you right now. So this is your rainwater coming from rooftop. It will get into this pit, or in other words, you can call it shallow well. Water will get filtered. Okay, this filtration system will work. It will get stored in this storage tank. Then it will get pumped. Here, this is a filtration system, RO water, you can call it a reverse osmosis system. Then it will come to the overhead tank. From here, you can use the water. So basically, the rooftop water goes back to the rooftop, but it undergoes a cleaning process. Okay. So here, groundwater recharge is not there. Okay, this diagram has got nothing to do with groundwater recharge. But here you can see that water is not stored in such kind of storage tanks. It is stored inside, in other words, under the ground. Okay, it is stored under the ground. So when everybody does that, water can be easy to take out during winter. Okay. Achha. Another diagram for you people: rooftop rainwater harvesting system. So just look into the diagram, you will be able to understand. It's not that difficult. Whatever I have been explaining to you, that only is drawn. Let me know if you have any issue. It's a diagram that I've been explaining you now from the text that is only drawn here. So let me know if you have understood it. Okay then. So this is the roof. Water is being collected. It gets transferred into the siphon pit. From here, this water gets transferred into this percolation pit, from where water will slowly get recharged into the ground. So in other words, you can call it a recharge well. Okay, it's a cement ring. If water gets the level of water gets too high, then there is an over pipe which will let the water flow out. But otherwise, it will keep getting recharged. Okay. Finally, during winter, you will see that water is available for you to collect. Okay. So that's how it works. You don't have to draw this diagram. These are for your information. Okay. Rainwater harvesting advantages. So provides self-sufficiency to water supply. You don't have to rely on others or any house connection of the municipality. You can have water of your own. Reduces cost of pumping of groundwater, because if you keep recharging, the water level will be higher, and so pumping cost will decrease. Quality of water is also good because it is soft water and it is low in minerals, because it's rainwater basically, right? So it won't have too much minerals. It won't be hard. It will be soft water. Improves the quality of groundwater through dilution when recharged. So groundwater has a lot of minerals. If you recharge water from the rainwater which is pure, the dilution will occur. Okay, those things which are high in concentration, it won't be so anymore if you keep recharging the groundwater. It reduces soil erosion because you are not letting water flow. You are recharging the ground. Okay, in desert, rainwater harvesting is the only relief. Is the only relief. Yeah, I missed this point. It's less expensive and easy to construct. This is also one very important point. In saline or coastal areas also and islands, rainwater provides good quality water because it's a coastal area, and so maximum water that you have in the ocean, you cannot use it, right? So rainwater harvesting is very important. More advantages. Roof catchment are selectively cleaner when compared to ground level catchment. So if you are using roof catchment method, then it's better because losses from roof catchment are minimum, because roof is something that you are obviously going to build for your home, and that itself serves as a purpose of rainwater harvesting. Built and maintained by local communities, not extra money spent on it. No chemical contamination because it falls directly on the roof. No other way of getting contaminated. Available at doorstep with least cost. You do not have to go outside. Your own roof is providing you water. Okay, so if you can plan it accordingly, it is going to provide you water at minimum cost. Okay, so this completes the rainwater harvesting. Okay, we will start with Sardar Sarovar project on the next day. So any questions from you people? Okay, then I leave it to you now. Any questions you can ask me.